the place where I work at, whenever holidays come around, they feed us on
Tonight
like
with
one
Chicago.
day out of a certain week they'll feed us food. Like this past week they had,
Yeah.
or last week they had what they were saying our Thanksgiving meal or whatever. So what I want to know is, when they do things like that at our job, is it okay for us to eat the food that they serve, or should we just not like partake in that at all?
Very, very good question, and I'm glad you asked that. Right. So let's go,
Okay.
because Paul was dealing with this. Right. Let me get that. Elder Lawyer, grab that for me. Let's see. Where it talks about for conscience sake. Right. Let me read it real quick. Great question. Because, all right, how am I to deal with not offending people who are in, don't forget, they're making a positive gesture, not knowing the difference. I still don't want to offend them, right? And them actually seeking to do something well for me, right? You don't want to do that, right? So Paul talked about that. Let me read it. It reads right here, and I need you to read this with me, sister. I got it on the screen. I got it. It's on the screen. 1 Corinthians, right? 10 and 23, it reads, all things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth, right? Whatsoever is sold in the shambles, that eat. Now, sold in the shambles, sister, is what? The shambles were the markets where the Gentiles would shop. We had our own kosher shop. So even if someone had clean lamb or something clean that we could eat, but it was sold amongst the Gentiles, it was illegal for us to actually partake in it, even though it was clean under the law. So let's use that as an example. Whatsoever is sold in the shambles, that eat, asking no question for conscience sake. For the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Right? Then it says 27, because he know that we would interact with Gentiles, right? And those who are unbelievers, but still these people have a conscience to do good towards their fellow man. We can't disrespect that, because then you may put up a wall between an opportunity to save that person. So it says right here, 1 Corinthians 10 and 27 says, if any of them that believe not bid you to a feast, right? So we got Thanksgiving and whatever the case is, right? If any of them that believe not bid you to a feast, and you be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you eat, asking no questions for conscience sake. Now, of course, if there's a pig with an apple in its mouth or a bowl of chitlins, the answer is no. But if there's lawful food there, if there's lawful food according to the Bible, eat it. But if any man say unto you, this is offered and sacrificed to idols, now if they're telling you outright that here it is, they're ready to pray over something that you know is off, okay, it's time for you to use the bathroom and, fade out without being recognized. But if any man say unto you, this is offered in sacrifice unto idols, eat not for his sake that showed it, and for conscience sake. It says, eat not for his sake that showed it, and for conscience sake, for the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So even if it's a situation like that, you have to make a choice. Usually if somebody's dealing with some idolatry, no, I'm good. Listen, conscience, I say not to thine own, but of the other. For what is my liberty judged of another man's conscience? For if by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of that for which I give thanks? So if you know that you're giving thanks to the food under the power of your God, don't worry about it. But this is where it could become a problem. It can become a problem if people know you're standing on a biblical principle, right? And that you are against something. And now you go up in a Christian church on December 25th to eat after claiming that Christians were pagan and that Christmas is pagan in of itself, right? And then someone who was actually like your mother was leaning towards hearing you deal with the truth, don't understand that liberty and deem you a hypocrite. And now you put a stumbling block in front of her now. Because even though lawfully you could go in there if you wanted to eat for conscience sake, knowing that you don't really celebrate that. But if you put that stumbling block in front of someone who respects you, that's when it becomes sin. So I try to stay away from it altogether. But altogether, if someone invites you somewhere and it's not a stumbling block, which gives you an opportunity to convey the gospel to those who are around you, then you take that opportunity. That's what liberty looks like. But you have to have the wisdom to know when to apply it. And that's what Paul was talking about. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.